Alright guys, so here's video number 2, because I got cut off the first time. So, hopefully you're remembering what you need to know about your noble gases. But here's what you gotta know. All of this information. And you were probably correct. Noble gases do in fact have 8 valence electrons, or they've got a full valence shell. We'll talk about more about that later. So, here's what you're gonna do next. Pick another color. Alright. So, the last family groups we're going to talk about today are these bottom guys down here. We call this our lanthanide and our actinide series. If you look at these elements right here, lanthanum and actinum, that's where they get their names from. But if we refer to this entire section together, like it's highlighted here, we call them our rare earth metals. So we are going to make sure you pause and color them. You can color them one color, or if you want to do one color for lanthanide and one color for actinide, you are welcome to do that as well. All right, pause and color. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is take some notes on our lanthanide and actinide series, or they're also known as rare earth metals. Each row is a separate group. Something kind of cool about actinide, and we're going to learn more specifically what this means later, but every element in the actinide series is radioactive. They're all rarely seen outside of a lab environment, and they're placed below the rest of the periodic table because it just would have been way too long of a periodic table if they were involved in the original one. So they just kind of pulled them down off to the bottom. It's really the only reason why. So pause and take your notes, and then is the next part of our day. All right, so some of you have asked on the periodic table in the room why there were some elements that are the chemical symbols were different colors. This periodic table does the same thing, it's just colored differently. So the reason why is because on periodic tables they sometimes denote that the states of matter that our elements are in. So if you look at this periodic table on the screen, what can you tell? What is the majority of our periodic table at room temperature? No, but really, what state of matter is the majority of our periodic table? Solids, right? They're mostly blue. So that means how many liquid elements exist at room temperature? That's right. Only 2 elements are liquids, and we've got a few gases at room temperature as well. So I would like for you to make note of this on your periodic table somewhere. So what you're going to do is you're going to put a star or a little asterisk next to the 2 elements that are liquids. So on your periodic table next to mercury, you're just going to put a little asterisk right here next to its atomic number. And next to bromine. So bromine and mercury are our only liquids at room temperature. The way that you're going to tell what your gases are is you are going to put a little circle next to their name. So next to hydrogen, you'll put a little circle in the corner. You'll put a little circle in the corner of all of these guys as well. And don't forget to add a key onto your periodic table. So on your periodic table somewhere, put a little asterisk and then do equals, right? And it equals liquids at room temperature. And then the little circles equal gases at room temperature. So pause, make sure you get all this done, and then we're moving on. This is just another way that we can organize the periodic table. You do not need to write this down right now. We're going to go over this more in depth later, but I just wanted to preview this with you a little bit. So we've also divided our periodic table up into just 3 bigger groups: metals, metalloids, which we've talked a little bit about, semiconductors, and nonmetals. So you do not need to write this down. I just wanted you to see some other properties of each of these types of groupings, because the periodic table is pretty organized in case you haven't figured that out yet. We're going to talk more about that later. But this is just another way that we can organize it, or we can see it be organized, is by metals, which are majority of our periodic table, our metalloids right here along this little step ladder, and our nonmetals, which are everything over here, and hydrogen. All right, so you have successfully successfully completed the second video that you needed to get done over the next couple of days. So now that you're done with the video, there is a quick worksheet called Getting to Know the Periodic Table, and it is on Google Classroom. It should be pretty easy to fill out. You won't have much to do. So make sure you check that and check to make sure you're not missing anything else. So just go back to Google Classroom to get the rest of your work for today. Don't forget to also fill in that Google form. Let me know what family groups you talked about or what you learned about today. If you have any questions, make sure you're filling in that question sheet or the question about, do you have any questions? I want to know what they are. If they're really good, we're going to add them to our driving question board, because I hope that y'all have seen by this point your questions are really driving the class, which I love. You guys are doing an awesome job. So y'all are awesome. I miss you, and I hope that you are loving the new periodic table. You can always sing the first 10 elements. All right, so enjoy the rest of your day, and email me if you have any questions. You're great. Bye, guys.